Hey, my name is Mick, and I'm posting my day trading journey right here to YouTube with complete transparency. And today I had a lot of trades. The first two I really want to kind of go over because they were more formal. And then I just want to describe the last little bit, which was the big move that we had today where I took various scalps on the way down. Kind of wanted to just discuss that. But again, this video is kind of just a trade review for myself, and I post it publicly, and really just a stream of consciousness to kind of work through my ideas and review a lot of my trades so I can be a better trader. So this first trade, well, let's actually go over. The first trade I made 227 off of this one, so I felt pretty confident. I liked starting off the day green. That's always a good note. We started off the day with a pretty big sell-off early morning, like 8:30, and I had my overnight level right there at like 15,448. I really like to wait for the open to do something or kind of settle out. So we had two attempts at the overnight high, and they both failed. We broke below that one, and then I was looking essentially at this retest. So we had failed attempt long, broke below it. And I didn't want to go on the first retest of this supply zone again, just because I wasn't entirely sure what was going to happen. But I figured I liked the initial reaction, waited for the second test, and that's where I ended up getting short right around here. I knew this was going to be a scalp. I didn't think it was going to completely reverse here, but I still liked the reaction overall. So on that second test of this supply zone, I got out. The volatility was pretty quick. This 1 minute candle was pretty fast, but it also jumped back up fairly quick as well. So I didn't hit my target. I got out early, and I think that's fine. I just secured 227 and I got out. Didn't want to overcomplicate it, especially with, I really wasn't sure how the market was going to be working today, but we spent the next bit consolidating sideways around the supply zone. So to me, that seems pretty important and pretty significant. And I didn't take a trade for a while until, let's see here, until we broke above it. So again, my thought process here is I'm keeping an eye on this overnight high and this supply zone. So we actually broke above it, and we had a pullback, and what I was doing was entering on the retest of this level right here. I got in almost perfectly on the overnight high and took a small scalp long, and I actually set a target for 10 points, and I ended up getting out early. It would have hit my target, but again, I just trying to get in and out of my scalps pretty quickly. I took this second trade on a different account. This was my first, this was the trade I was talking about right here. This was that scalp, and that scalp actually was, I was trading one NQ contract. I ended up making about $1,500 on the day, or well, $1,700 with both accounts combined. But this was that original scalp. I'm glad I got out because you can see what happened shortly afterwards. Oops. And overall, those are my two formal trades. That's why I marked them on here. This is before the big sell-off today. So I'll go to the other account, but just to show you the scale of this sell-off, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Just really absurd sell-off. My understanding was that this was responsible from the bond market having issues, and then people realizing that inflation is really not getting better as much as they thought it would. And then I think they're going to actually have to start increasing rates continuously until they start to see improvement in the inflation issues. So I think that was one of the main reasons for this sell-off. I'm not going to try to predict it, but either way, I want to show you my process in how I ended up. I got a large chunk of my money today on this. I like this trending day, felt easy to me. After the first trade here, I actually went long here. It was kind of a stupid decision, but I thought maybe I could try to catch a bottom here and then play this reversal. That was a mistake. I got stopped out fairly quickly, took a couple $100 loss, immediately flipped it and thought, why am I doing this? There's huge selling pressure. I'm just going to go with the flow. And what started to happen, I started to just enter into a contract Since I wasn't really expecting formal pullbacks, I ended up getting in kind of at strange times during this. So as you can see, not really great entries, so no formal pullbacks. I got short here. I took a small scalp, and then took short here. What I would do for this one, for instance, it's kind of hard to get a stop loss. I put my stop loss originally above this wick of this candle, and then I would basically just start pulling my stop loss down to kind of just essentially trail with it down. My objective, it might be better for the second trade. This second trade, I entered right here at 322. I set my stop at 335, so about a 10-point stop. And my plan, just because I'm trading one NQ contract, my plan was to move my stop as quickly as possible to break even and then not stress the trade at all. I have always had trouble with trending days, finding where to put your stop losses, where to take your profits, how not to scare yourself out, because the objective, in my opinion, on a trending day is to try to get as much as you can if it's trending without trying to psych yourself out. So I worked on that today to try to figure that out. And what worked for me was as soon as I felt comfortable with the price action moving away from my entry point, I would move my stop loss to break even, or give myself a couple of points or a couple of ticks, whatever cushion, so that I'm positive or break even and not losing money. Then I would just let the trade run until I felt comfortable taking it. And so I basically took a couple of chunks. These were my two longest trades. They were the last two trades. This one was okay. Once I saw this buying a couple of green candles consecutively, I wanted to get out. Didn't want to concern myself. This one was a pretty decent trade. I got in right here at 318, set my stop loss right above that at 324, and then I just let it go. Pretty much once we kind of pulled back and kind of put in this lower high right here, I moved my stop to break even, and then I even moved it just above this this high right here. So this was, in my opinion, pretty awesome. I felt pretty confident just because, like, yes, we had these kind of essential these longs, the pullbacks, whatever you want to call them, but I never once felt like I was a little nervous about it. So here I just set my stop to break even or just a little bit of money, and then I just let the trade go. When we were down here, we were hitting a support level, and I was a little concerned that we were hitting this level. This is where kind of the psychological stuff came in. I think this trade was maybe $500 or $600 from here to here. And then again, once I saw that we broke that level, I entered short back down here at 247, and then took another chunk. It started to speed up here. This was a pretty significant demand level that I had on my charts, which I can show you. Oops, I gotta stop doing that. So this was the significant level right here. Why am I doing this? Why am I messing up? So this is the significant demand level here. This is where I got out, and then this is where I got in once it broke this level around like 15,250. I got in short here and then took this last little section here. But I was a little hesitant because I figured if it's going to turn around, it would turn around this area in demand zone. I wasn't too far off. It turned out that it turned around 227-ish in this area right here. Overall, I was super happy with the way today played out. It's hard to predict these kind of moves. The best thing I figured is just, after this initial long mistake, just go with the flow. Move your stops to break even or small profit almost as soon as you can. Take the risk off, take the stress off, and just see what you can get out of it. If the market's going to give it to you, I'll take it. So like I said, I ended up getting about 15, 16, maybe $1,700 today. So felt pretty happy about that. And you know what? Not sure what else there is to say. I'm still working on my Apex valuations. I think I'm about 1,000 away from one. I got 500 in profit on another. So got a handful of them. I'm just going to try to stay consistent, and I have a couple of things that I'm changing in my process to try to get myself to these funded accounts, and we'll see how they go. But that's all I have for you today. I will see you guys next time. Peace.